Hello and welcome to another Pure Data video. In this video we're going to be looking at pitch tracking using the Sigmund object. Okay, so this fiddle in Sigmund will go an octave lower. So we'll start. Command 1. I'm using the ADC input and I'm using channel 2. We'll connect that directly into Sigmund tilde. And we should get a lot of outs on that. So let's go in and right click on Sigmund and get to its help, because I haven't used this one quite as much. So we just have two outputs, the pitch and the envelope, and then it shows you how to do sinusoidal tracking, and it shows you various parameters that you can send to it, and it shows you how to use it with tables. So if you spend a little bit more time you can find out a little bit more about that. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to attach number boxes up to the output, and we see what we can get. So it's given us MIDI pitch numbers, so that's a cooked output. And so one of the objects that we might be able to use would be to go from MIDI to frequency. Hopefully we'll be able to see it as a frequency now, as opposed to a MIDI number. And we can use that to track various parameters. Here's the envelope of my voice, and you can see it's coming in at around 30 just for background level. Reasonable noise. There is a message in here in the settings parameters called min power. So we will try the min power, and hopefully this will help us. I'm not sure. So Control 2, and we'll go min power $1 because it's a variable. So this is a message, and then we'll put in our number to the message, and we'll see if this works. I tried this the other day and I didn't get it to work, but I was on a Mac, so maybe it works on a PC. I'm not 100% sure what should be happening here, but I am not seeing this minimum power message working. So I'm afraid I can't explain why that's not working. But let's see how we would do it. So right now it's only tracking one partial, if you can see that, because we haven't put in any numbers to differentiate. So I'm going to try and have a look at this tracking one. So right click, help. And if we go into the tracking help, we can see the message. So it's going to track n number of peaks, so the number of peaks, 10 peaks, please. So let's just put that in again. So n peaks, and you can have as many peaks. I think you can have up to 20, I think is the massive. So I'm going to go minus n peaks, and the minus just means it's a message to the object. I don't know, it's called a flag. They call it a flag. And I'm going to say 16 peaks. All right, and so now what's coming out here is 16 peaks. So if we go help, and we'll just go into the sinusoidal tracking, we can see that it'll put out 16. In my one, it'll put out 16 peaks, 16 tracks, and each track or peak will have 4 parameters. So the loudest partial, the envelope tracking of that loudest partial, and then plus or minus, this looks like plus or minus amplitude. If you ask for tracks, the envelope 4 into index frequency, amplitude, and finally a flag which is for a new track, 0 continuity, -1 for an amp track. Yeah, you can read that yourself. So all I'm trying to show you is that to get the individual tracks out, we need to create a route object, and we route the track out that we want. So I want output 1, so the first output is labeled 0, and then from each of these tracks or peaks there's 4 numbers packed together. So we need to unpack F, 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 and we can see these 4 numbers, of which we only need oh, that's wrong, sorry, it's a number box, of which I only need the first 2. I only need the first 2. And that's going to be my amplitude and the frequency at that amplitude. Okay, so if I wanted to unpack a different number, I'll just show you a slightly different way to do it. I could say, if I say send peaks, for example, What this will do is it'll just take them and it's like a virtual wire. Over here I can do receive peaks. I've spelled receive wrong. Receive peaks. Now what's going out here will come out here instead. So I can have it elsewhere. I don't have to have them connected with a cable. And I'm going to get this again. But this time, if I put it in here now, we'll see the exact same results. Oh, sorry guys. If I put it in here, we should see the exact same results. But I can change this number here. So now I'll have track 1 instead, if you understand. And we have done all the way up to track 16. So we should see that track 16 is a much higher number. So you can see that this is up in the thousands, where this is up in the hundreds. And it should also be much, much quieter, because as the partials go higher and higher, they get quieter and quieter. Okay, so that's one way to do it. So then the question is, that's very simple so far, really, I think. So the next question is, how do we convert it back into a sound? So if we're able to analyze it, how do we resynthesize it? Well, if we go to the help again, sinusoidal tracking, it might show us. No, it doesn't show us, but it's pretty easy to do. All that you have to do really, is we need to create an oscillator. So os tilde, and the oscillator will get its frequency from here. And this oscillator is going to go out into an amplifier. So amplifier tilde, multiply tilde. And the amplifier is going to get its value from here. But I'm going to smooth it slightly, just in case there's any big jumps. I don't want to hear those. So I'm going to do what's the pack line combination. So line. And hopefully we're just getting used to seeing this. And I'm going to go pack. So I'm packing two numbers together, the number that's coming in, and I'm going to have a little blur of like 10 milliseconds. So it'll always take 10 milliseconds to get from the previous number to the new number coming in. Okay, and we can change the number that goes in here with another number box. So we can have more or less of a slew between those two numbers, more or less of a ramp between the old number and the new number. And then we should just be able to stick this out into a DAC. But firstly, I'm going to stick it out into another amplifier. So this will be my master amplifier, if you understand me. And this will go to my DAC. Oh, sorry. This will go to my DAC. So command 1, DAC tilde. Output left and right. We're not hearing it right now because we have not... this is wrong, actually. We're not hearing it right now because we haven't turned it up. So I'll hold down Shift so as I can turn it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you could do slewing here. You hear how the numbers are jumping around? 1. They're just really jumping about. So I could do a slew up here as well. So I'll just use the exact same parameter. But what I'll do is I'm going to put it in between here and the oscillator. So now you can hear that there's a little slew. And I can slew it more and more and more so we don't get those big jumps. Can you hear that? You should hear it now. Now. Or we can pull it down so we get those much more immediate jumps. It's up to yourself. So I have a slew here and a slew here. And if I keep on creating oscillators, so all I really have to do now... Sorry guys, I'm just going to delete this. And delete this because we don't need those numbers. And instead of using a number here, I'm going to use a send. So I'll say or for short for receive, and I'll say or os slew, and I'll get rid of this one D, and I'll say or amp slew. I'll show you why I'm doing this now in a minute. Amp slew. Okay. And then over here what I can do is I can just create some, I'll say S os slew. number box. So this number now will be sent to this oscillator over here. It's like a virtual, you can hear it, it's the same thing, no difference. And I'll do another one for the amp slew. There you go. Sorry, and what I'm going to do then is, if we get rid of this, I'll bring this over here and I'll pop that in there, and we can see it's sending the peaks, it's receiving the peaks. Okay, that's pretty good. So we're kind of able to tidy up. I'm going to make it a little bit tidier. I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is a kind of a complete block. You know, I don't need to see all of this. It's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside something to hide it. So Command 1, and we're going to create a little special box. So I'm going to say PD, and I'm going to call it partial 1. All right, and it opens up. I'm going to copy all of this. Control C, Control X, and I'm going to paste it. And now it's in here. Okay. But I'm going to get rid of this part here, Command X, and instead I'm going to put it to an outlet, or is it just out tilde? I can't remember. Let's outlet tilde. And so this comes out here, and I could then join this to my DAC, DAC tilde, and I'll show you how I'm going to do this now in a minute. I'm expecting to hear it, and I'm not 100% sure why I'm not hearing it, but I am not hearing it. Receive peaks. Let's just check it. Oh, the amp. For some reason, the amp is no longer connected. Yeah, I put it in the wrong one. It needs to go in here. So now I have the first partial hidden in this tidy little box. So I can go Command D, create another one. I'll call this one number 2. I'll open it up, and all I have to do is change the root signal to the next number, which is root 1. So this is going to be the I'm sorry for this annoying noise. This is going to be the second partial, and I'll just root that in. And we can hear the first 2 partials. If I duplicate it again, I'll say this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 4. I should have started at 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever. So I'll go into this one, and this is going to be 2. We can hear it there getting quiet. We get it. It's getting clearer already. Oh, it's not, because it's not connected. And this will be partial 3. So I'll connect them out to the DAC, and we should hear it getting clearer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what I'll do is I'll create one more, but it'll be like, I don't know, partial 10. So if I go inside here, I'll have to change to root 9. Because the partials start counting at 0, but my boxes start counting at 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how we reconstitute it. So with my os slew and the amp slew, we can make some differences. If I was to do all 16 peaks, I should hear it quite clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you see, by doing it this way, this number goes to all of these, all of the partials. So it's just much easier. Okay, guys, have a go, see what you can come up with, and just see if you can basically copy the video that I did, maybe track a guitar, try and track some drums, your voice, something like that. Once you have the frequency, you'll have it as a frequency. You can convert it to MIDI with the frequency to MIDI, FTOM, and you could use that to output it to Ableton or make note out, or you could use it to track. And I don't know, you know, it's up to you how you want to use it. But that's how you track the partials in an audio signal using Sigmund. It was a reasonably long video, I think. So hopefully it's not too boring. I didn't repeat myself too much. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of it. Bye now.